Coming up on Sports Showtime, the LSU men's basketball team tries to bounce back from their loss against Vanderbilt. Could they take it to Auburn on the road?
And the baseball team faces their first test of the season against Illinois. We'll tell you how they fared at the box.
Plus, the LSU gymnastics team hosted the Etta James Memorial meet against NC State. We've got the results from the PMAC and your top 5 plays of the week.
So put on your batting gloves and lace up your spikes. This is Sports Showtime.
Into the livest game coverage around. I'm talking LSU sports, Showtime in the towns. Get the scoop on the ball and sneak peek on the track. Key in on the field when them Tigers attack. In fact, you get it back a few times a week. But it starts on Tuesday, third day of the week. They're beasts when they broadcast, increase like a fall class. Critique when I speak by my squad in the quad, man. Yeah, they the stars on the quad, man. That's the TVC, Tiger TVP. Every game, every star, every player, every situation they facing the star in the making. And you get it first exclusively. Yeah, I know you feeling me. Who want the latest on the TIGERS? That's the LSU Tigers. We get it sparking like a fire.
Welcome to Sports Showtime. We've got everything you want to know from the world of LSU athletics. I'm Brian Tompkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Palmer. Later on, we'll have the results from men's and women's tennis over the weekend.
But first, some late-breaking news from the LSU basketball team.
Just announced today, Coach Trent Johnson has been named SEC Coach of the Year, and Marcus Thornton has been named SEC Player of the Year.
This is the third different league Johnson has garnered Coach of the Year honors and is the first Tiger head coach to receive the award since John Brady in 2006. Thornton was also a unanimous selection for All-SEC after leading the Tigers in scoring and finished second in the league in scoring.
Junior forward Tasman Mitchell joined Thornton on the first team, while Garrett Temple landed on the second team. Temple and LSU forward Chris Johnson were also named to the SEC All-Defensive team.
Trent Johnson took his SEC champion Tigers on the road Saturday to face a dangerous Auburn basketball team to finish out their SEC season. Let's take a look at the action. It was a packed house at the Beard East Memorial Coliseum. The Auburn fans seemed more ready to play than any of the teams on the basketball court. Garrett Temple, with the game tied at 3-3 early, knocked down to 3 to put the Tigers up by 3 points, 18 minutes to go in the game. Dwayne Reed here gets a nice pass inside his teammate Brandon Knox for 2 points. That ties the game at 13 points. Dwayne Reed would also come back here and finds Courtney Barber for this layup that puts Auburn up by 2 points. With the score tied at 15, Tasman Mitchell decides to take things into his hand, but that was too bad. Tasman couldn't make a shot on the night. Tasman misses here again and again. Tasman would go and shoot 1 for 10 for the night and only score 5 points. Bo Spencer, being the great point guard that he is, finds Marcus Thornton inside for the layup for the 2 and the basket. Auburn here, Dwayne Reed comes in again to try to get some points on the board for Auburn for the half, and he does, puts them up by 6 points. Something obviously gets Trent Johnson upset as he tries to argue with the ref as he takes his team into the locker room for the halftime. Marcus Thornton comes down inside here, finds Chris Johnson for the dunk. I guess if you're like 6'10 and got long arms, you can do things like that with the ball. Dwayne Reed, not to be outdone, comes back and knocks down the 3-point jump shot. This will put Auburn up, and then his defensive side of the ball, he would take the ball, pass it off to his teammate, gets the reward, the 2-point layup, and put Auburn up for good. The Tigers in orange and blue would go on to win by a final score of 69-53. Marcus Thornton had his usual 23 points and 5 rebounds. However, he was the only player to score in double digits for the Tigers. Tasman Mitchell struggled from the field, only scoring 5 points with 5 rebounds for the Tigers. Following 2 straight losses, the Tigers have dropped to number 16 in the USA Today Coaches Poll and to number 20 in the AP poll. We're now joined by our basketball expert, Jason Templer. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on again.
Oh, it's no problem. Anytime you want, just let me know. Let's talk about this LSU loss over this season. It was a terrible loss. They looked lethargic and just flat out dysfunctional. Now, give me a reason for this breakdown, and also tell me, how do we lose to a team like Auburn?
Well, once again, Brian, the offensive inside game caved them in. Auburn got 42 points in the paint compared to LSU's 20. That's horrendous for LSU. On offense, this team is looking extremely tired. Bench play finally starting to catch up with the Tigers. Six-man Terry Martin went 0 for 4 in this game. Finally, Marcus Thornton was the only player in double figures as the rest of the team couldn't locate the basket with a GPS. As a team, LSU shot 32%. They'll never beat anyone shooting a basketball like that.
Never. I've seen some games. Just can't happen.
Right.
All right, so the naysayers are starting to talk again. As the Tigers suffered this loss, people don't think we should be as ranked as high as we are. What do you give the Tigers, and how do you think their chances are in the SEC tournament and also the NCAA tournament?
Well, it's going to be the same as I've been saying. It just depends on who they seeded against. But they're dangerous because of their scorer starting in Mitchell and also their half-court defense. Of course, like I said, depends on the seeding. A big physical team would cause all kinds of problems for LSU. If they face an Oklahoma, Pittsburgh, even a Florida State, a big physical team, problems. If they face Marquette or Villanova, I think better sailing. It just depends on where they're lined up.
All right, Jason, I'm not surprised you make as good as points as you always do. We'll have to have you back. I know our time was short, but I'm sure you'll be back over the course of the season. All right, Mary Claire, we're going to toss things over to you.
Going into this week, Coach Paul Maneri and his squad had outscored their opponents 109-25. And after their first 2 games of the weekend had outscored Illinois 23-13, but split the first 2 games of the series, setting up a rubber match on Sunday. Let's take you to the highlights. Starting off on the mound for the Tigers, Austin Ross. He pitched 5 innings, only giving up 2 earned runs and had 4 strikeouts. But the real man of the game was Illinois pitcher Ben Reeser. He strikes out Dean. He just shut down the Tiger bats, forcing Micah Gibbs into a ground out here. Later, as the Tigers head to the field, LeMahieu is going to overthrow first base. He's going to pay for that as Illinois goes to score their first run of the game. Then Casey McCurry steps up to the plate with this RBI single up the middle. McCurry would go to hit in another run for Illinois. Bertassini comes up to the mound for the Tigers. He didn't even make it through the inning, coming in the 7th. He let 3 runs score, walked in 1 run, and actually hit a batter. Coach Maneri was not too happy about that, had to put in a replacement for him. The Tigers would fall to Illinois 6-2 in the rubber game of the series. This is the first series loss for the Tigers on this young season. Sean Ochinko continued to swing a hot bat, hitting his 4th home run of the season. As a result of the loss, the Tigers have taken a hit in both major polls. In Baseball America, the Tigers have dropped all the way to 4th and only down to 3rd in the collegiate baseball poll. Sports Showtime's Haley Lawrence has the details of the Tigers' first real struggle of the season.
The baseball team's undefeated season came to an end Friday night as a 2-run homer in the 9th inning broke the 1-1 tie and led Illinois to a 3-1 win over the Tigers.
Following Friday's upset, things started to look up for the Tigers when outfielders Leon Landry, Nicholas Pontiff, and Micah Gibbs each hit grand slams in Saturday's game. LSU had 16 total hits for the day, 7 of which were home runs, and the Tigers defeated Illinois 22-10.
The excitement over Saturday's game came to an abrupt end on Sunday when Illinois pitcher Ben Reeser put the Tigers in a tough spot with his changeup, allowing only 6 hits and 2 runs. Head coach Paul Maneri talks about what he thinks went wrong in the weekend series.
I remind the kids every day of the things they need to do to be a real good team, and we just didn't do those things today, nor did we do them on Friday. A couple of missed plays hurt us again today. We made some bad pitches at certain times, and we didn't hit.
Junior Sean Ochinko says he is just glad it is still early enough in the season to bounce back.
I mean, it's a long season. We've played 12 games, and we got 44 more. You know, it's a long season. Obviously, there's adjustments that need to be made. We lose 2 out of 3. You got to go back to the drawing board and think about what happened this weekend and learn from it and move on. I think we're going to be fine. Hopefully, this helps us, kind of lights a fire under us and gets us going.
For Sports Showtime, I'm Haley Lawrence.
The Tigers look to get back to their winning ways tonight at 6:30 against Southeastern.